So I'm not sure where I heard this first. I don't know if it was Michael Koenig's or Dean Jackson, but there was this kind of popular 10-10 and then blank approach to developing content. And I like the structure, I like the framework, and the more I thought about it, and the reality of things, in my world, there's probably a 10-10-3 approach that makes a lot of sense that would allow you to build really strong relationship marketing and kind of recycle it time and time again. And you may not have to do a whole lot more with the relationship marketing side of things except make direct offers and do great with creating content that resonates with the audience that you want to serve, builds value in who you are, creates trust, gets people to like you, and ultimately helps move them from prospect to client. So let's unpack this. The first 10 is just writing down the 10 most frequently asked questions that your prospects and even ideal clients have, the things that they come to you with time and time again. I know in my case, I hear so many of the same questions. How do I generate more leads? What kind of model should I run? What kind of advertising methods work? All those types of things, right? Well, I'm sure you have those too. Like, how should somebody approach nutrition? What type of workout should they do? How much cardio should they do? All that sort of thing. You figure out the most common questions that people have. And if you really want to knock this out of the park, do a video answer to each of those and then a text answer to each of those. And now we've doubled up, right? So we've got 20 pieces of content. We got a video component and we got a text component. And frankly, you could probably take that video and transcribe it, edit it, and makes the text component even easier. So that's the first bucket of 10 pieces of content. The second is, what are those questions they should be asking? What are those questions that are maybe 1 degree past their level of knowledge and expertise? Because let's face it, a lot of times people come to us and they start asking questions about price, and they're like, well, I don't want to talk to them about price. Well, they don't know what else to ask. They're not experts in this the way that you are, the way that the people in our industry that have helped so many people are. And we know things that they don't know yet. So identify what you think the 10 kind of questions they should be asking, or they probably are going to ask in the future on this trajectory that they're on, and kind of get ahead of it. And, if you can identify those questions about, what they need to be thinking about, like maybe the role of an assessment in program design and why it's important and why one size fits all programming isn't great for people. Or the role that the other 165 plays in somebody's training program, instead of just a couple hours a week they're in a supervised gym setting. But ask those questions and answer them. Write down what those questions are and do the same thing. Create a video for each and then create a text version of each. Now we've got, 20 different topics, 40 pieces of actual kind of unique content, right? And, I probably shouldn't tell you this because, I'm the guy that's written a daily email for now, 18 years without missing a day. But I'm not sure that you need any more content than what I just put out there. Now, are you going to freshen things up over time? The quality of video continues to improve, or the formatting or the style changes. So you may update things. You may look back at the way that you wrote something and choose to rewrite it. But think about that. That's, 40 high quality pieces of content. And, you can basically run through that week after week and put out a couple pieces of content each week and then cycle back through it at the middle of the year and maybe just tweak it, freshen it up, throw a story into the message that you talked about. But those are these foundational pieces of relationship marketing content. So if you have that, those are the things that prospects need to hear, right? They need to get to know you. They need to learn how you can be the best solution for them. And I don't know that we ever need to get past that. And if you're delivering it in different formats where, one format's the actual text version of things, and then the next format is, hey, I just did this video over here. Go check this out. Their learning style or the way they prefer to consume information, you've checked that box too. So we've got the flagship kind of pieces of content. So then what's the three? Well, if you've been reading my newsletter for any period of time, I use something called a super signature, which I learned from my friend and mentor, Dean Jackson, which is basically this little PS at the end of emails that says, hey, whenever you're ready, here are 3 ways I can help. And there's no magic in the number 3. It could be 2 ways I can help, it could be 4 ways I can help, but it's probably easier for us to come up with 3 valuable ways to be useful and create a logical next step for the person that we want to serve. So after we've created these pieces of content, we create this sort of evergreen PS, the super signature, where maybe we have a kind of a small ask of the person, hey, opt in and get this special report I created, or check out this book that I wrote, or something like that. Then the middle level is something interactive. It's something, a consult, a free trial. It's interactive, but it's probably 0 risk. It could be an assessment. There's no financial obligation, because if we think about this hierarchy, there's kind of this, they do it themselves. There's no interaction. So there's no kind of risk of putting themselves in an uncomfortable environment. They're not necessarily ready to do something. So we have that level of ask. And then the second level is we add a little bit of a sense of risk for the prospect. We may not perceive it as that, but there's this kind of sense of, oh, if I'm interactive with them, they're going to try to sell me, or I'm going to be in an uncomfortable environment, or I could potentially be embarrassed. So there's that risk, but we just don't add the additional risk of a financial investment. And then at the third level, we have something that requires them to interact with us and has a financial commitment, a front-end offer, a short-term program, something like that. And if you have those 3 things in place, now we've got a really kind of evergreen relationship marketing system that we can go out there and run once or twice a week. And then if we mix in our monthly offer system that we teach in our coaching programs, you've got pretty much all the communication you need with prospects on a weekly basis to both build relationships with the people that are leads and become prospects, and actually convert them to paying clients that are pre-sold by the time they get to you, because they've consumed this content. They understand how you're different, how you're better. You've answered the questions that they have. You've created that kind of trust. And now you've got somebody who's seeing you differently than they see the competition, who's just transactional. They understand that you're a transformational coach that can help them reach their goals and solve their problems. So if you've kind of struggled with creating content consistently, if you've struggled with what to write or what to film or what to say, take this 10-10-3 approach, put it to use, and watch your business grow.